What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party Valentine's Day edition. Valentine's Day edition, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, because it is the day of love. And we here at the Godzilla Block Party love Godzilla. And when companies and studios know that we love Godzilla, they throw Godzilla at us. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the brand new, second and possibly final trailer for Godzilla X Kong, the new empire that dropped earlier today. And oh my God, I got a stack panel with me. And let's get down to the name. Let's name them off. Joining me first off, my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the Godzilla Block Party, my brother Chase, a.k.a. Megzy, a.k.a. G73. What the hell's going on, bro?
What's up? I'm excited for this Valentine's Day expressed Godzilla X Kong trailer we're going to be talking about here. Proud to be part of this sausage fest.
Sausage fest indeed. It's Valentine's Day, everybody. Let it all hang out. Also joining us is, of course, Gam Z1. We can't have it without Gam Z1.
Oh, I am feeling the love today.
I know you are. I got my red underwear on for you. You know it. Also joining us every now and then he pops on, but he's been a part of the Godzilla Block Party since its inception. We've got Alex, brother. What the hell's going on?
What's up, guys? Happy Valentine's Day. It's a perfect time for Godzilla to be pink, so let's get right to it.
Sporting his Cupid.
Right.
Absolutely. Also joining us, we've got the toy reviewer himself, the guy that gets me more views than anybody else, Shin Rob Tira. Rob, what's going on, brother?
Bro, I'm so ready for this discussion. Happy Valentine's Day. As said before, I can't wait. I have so much to say. I'm so excited. Yeah.
And last but definitely not least, we've got the one person on the panel who is extreme in his thoughts for this particular Valentine's Day Wonderfest. He might think it's a massacre, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There's a swerve coming later on. You have no idea. I will be your shield. JR, my brother, how the hell are you?
Listen, Monster vs. Godzilla running has always looked fucking stupid. You cannot change my mind on that.
Well then, let's see if we can with this brand new Godzilla X Kong trailer. And I just want to point out something real quick. And listen, I get it. I totally get it. It's the way I run things here. I don't really give a fuck. When I started this thing about 10 years ago, it was all for fun. It was all for fun. But as I was stuck at work watching this trailer, and then I seen fan reaction after 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 fan reaction. I said, where the fuck were all you 10 years ago? Motherfucker, respect my name, respect this podcast, respect everybody here. We pioneers in this bitch. Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire trailer number 2. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to start with you, actually, Alex, because you don't get on here much. So I would really like your opinion on this trailer. What did you think? Where are we going?
Well, I would say this. We're definitely getting away from the seriousness of Godzilla 2014. I think we can all agree on that. I think we're getting more into the fun, crazy, campy, somewhat, mechs with the mecha gloved arm or whatever the hell that is. But you know what? That's what I love about Godzilla. What I love about Godzilla is that it could change tone from movie to movie. And as long as it fits the plots and the monsters and all that, I love it. And the thing with this movie is that I feel like it's an evolution of the normal Godzilla vs. Kong. I know some people don't like it, some people love it. I am one of those people that, say that, you know what, I liked it, but it could have been much better. But I think that this one is like, you know what, let's just have fun with this movie. Let's just go all out. Let's just not give a damn about it anymore, about what makes sense and what does not make sense. Let's just go all in on it. And I loved it. I loved what I saw. And I'm hoping that the movie will deliver what I wanted out of the MonsterVerse. Just go all in. Just have fun. Get these crazy monsters to just go out.
No, I totally agree with that. I do. I got to be honest. Although, and I will save this for a little later, this ain't it. Not by a long shot. At least not yet. Gams, your thoughts on this trailer?
Listen, this trailer made me go from very cautiously optimistic, as we all remember from the first trailer reaction. I was very cautiously optimistic. I was like, you know what, we'll let them cook a little bit. They fucking cooked. All right? They fucking cooked. This trailer was just balls to the walls, everything. It's got stuff. It's got callbacks to King of the Monsters. It's got callbacks to Godzilla vs. Kong. It's got brand new stuff. It's even got like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes type energy with the Kongs all slamming their fists in unison like a drum beat. Oh, it was just so good. I'm not gonna blow my whole load here when it comes to the analysis, but just overall thoughts. This might make me even appreciate Godzilla vs. Kong more.
I hear that. Rob, your initial thoughts on the trailer?
So, I didn't like the first trailer. I was not a fan of it. It was just kind of blasé. But when watching the second trailer, there was just a different air. There was a different energy to it. Like right from the very jump, even with footage that we've already seen. And it caught me. You know what I'm saying? It really caught me. It caught me in that energy. It caught me in that hype. And most of all, we actually have a little bit of a sense of what's going on here. We have a sense of the weight of the situation. And that really especially caught me. And, you know, we see a whole bunch of monster action. We see what's going on with the humans and everything. And honestly, I'm going to be real here. They could have just released this trailer, and that would have been done for me. I would have been donezo. It would have been hype from the jump, right then and there. I mean, we get a little bit of a tease of a couple monsters in there, if you know how to use the pause button correctly.
True.
We see Godzilla, we see Kong, we see Suko. We don't see Doug, which kind of bummed me out, but there's a world going on here. And that's what hypes me up the most. There is a world, there is a life, there is everything going on here, and I can honestly say that I am 100%, no falter, extremely excited for this movie now.
Right. All right, Brother Chase, your initial reaction to the trailer?
Oh, dude, it was a lovely thing to wake up to. I have to stop putting those doubts in Wingard because they did the exact same thing with what they did with Godzilla versus Kong, where they showed not everything, and I like that they finally have found that pace. This trailer I don't feel like showed too much, but I agree with Rob. We didn't need that first trailer after this. I think they should have just put this one out. You know, I am, for one, very excited for this movie because I just think it looks fun. It looks like a good time at the theater, a good time. My only hope is as long as these monsters actually have visible personality and it works, I'm on board. You know, they're setting this up as like that type of film where it's going to be very, you know, presentable with their personalities and expressions. So I hope they really run with that. But I'm just excited for the monster brawl. And you know, we do get some of the human element too, which is it's going to be interesting because there's a lot going on with Gia. So I'm interested to see what's going to go on with that. But I at this point on, or this moment, I don't have any qualms with this movie or anything with this trailer. I enjoyed it. It is a monster fest impromptu destroy all monsters, I feel like.
I love that take. And I agree with you. Now I'm going to say real quick, I think there are going to be some characterizations of these creatures because you've seen that big great ape get his tooth knocked the fuck out, but JR.
Yeah.
what was your initial thoughts for this trailer? As I smoke this cigarette real quick.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes featuring Godzilla looks great. I'm glad they went this route with continuing to cut down what looks like Godzilla's screen time in favor of Kong. Of course, it is just a trailer, but it's kind of there. It's kind of, we're doing this again. Whatever, that's what people liked with BBK. There's a lot of things to say about the trailer that mirror my initial reactions to the first trailer. Not surprised with, because it was kind of set up in the initial trailer with where they were going with it. I'm just not surprised.
That's your final thoughts?
No, that's my initial thoughts. I'm just not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not happy with it, but I've got my reasons. I'm sure we'll get to.
We're gonna definitely get to it. I mean, I watched the trailer. I seen it at work. Like I said, all right, yeah, all right. There's a couple of good things I do want to talk about, like what Rob just talked about, the idea that a bigger MonsterVerse movie. This is probably the biggest of them all. I mean, we're gonna get more monsters in this movie than any other one. Granted, they're all generic apes, but it doesn't matter. This is the most monsters we've seen on screen in a MonsterVerse movie ever. It's just it, and we've seen it in the trailer. It's just it. I mean, I dug it. I can't lie. Yeah. And I do agree. The first one, I mean, and Gams could attest to this. The first one had me screaming. I jumping, ah! But this one was like, while it didn't hit the peak levels of that second King of the Monsters trailer, which I swear to God is still the greatest trailer ever made in movie history, this one gave me enough. I don't think it hit the Godzilla vs. Kong level trailer, especially that first one where you see Kong swing at Godzilla at the end of the trailer. But that was something different because that was the first time we got to see these two characters of this iteration on screen. So the hype level was up.
We need to put that "Here We Go" song in the trailer for that.
True, but as I was watching it just now before we went live, I did kind of like the music. At work, I only had one headphone
I like the music too.
Yeah, I dug it. But what I did like in this trailer was they showed Godzilla vs. Kong. And I was like, well, that's what I'm paying for. I know they're friends now, or respectable allies, right? It's Goku Vegeta, okay? I get that. But yeah, no, Godzilla was going after Kong. Like, he blew up a fucking Great Pyramid to try to kill Kong, which lends me to believe as we transition into this part, and then we'll start breaking down the trailer. Well, that's funny. No, he didn't. Because he have a hole in his foot with that stupid-ass tail. Piece of shit. And I'll get into that later on,
He just
too.
didn't step on the Thagomizer.
Oh, my God. But that's the thing. Like, you see that part in the trailer where Godzilla is now in his Valentine's Day suit, and he's letting loose. He's attacking Kong. He's not. So I'm thinking, oh shit, Godzilla comes out in berserker mode. Like, he breaks out that ice and it's all rage. And that's why I like the red and the, I like the pink and shit. He's all rage. He doesn't see it. But at the end of the trailer, we get that picture that we saw, what was it, Super Bowl Sunday? Or Monday even? Of Godzilla and Kong roaring up to the sky with what it looks like a broken Sphinx. Right in between them. So I was like, okay, they come to terms. Maybe Kong punches him with his new fucking mechanic Kong hand. Yeah, go ahead, Rob. I see you.
I got a theory about that because a lot of people are saying that's an edited scene. It's an edited photo. Somebody has been omitted from that scene in that photo.
Rodan?
Yeah.
No.
And am I allowed to say it?
Why not?
Can I? Okay.
It's in the
I mean,
trailer.
you see her in Gia's eye.
Yes,
Yeah, you
Mothra.
do.
And who better of a monster to quell these kings, these gods, than Mothra?
I hate it.
Mothra shows up in the sky,
JR.
and it's just all Dunyan rings, bro.
JR, I see what you're saying.
Mothra is inside Godzilla because Mothra. Remember when
Mothra's inside Godzilla.
Well, here's the thing. Remember
It's Valentine's Day.
I don't know what to call it,
Godzilla
burning
swings
Godzilla,
like that,
whatever.
huh?
But when Godzilla was doing that atomic pulse against Ghidorah, Mothra's wings was part of the explosion. It came from
Yeah, and Mothra's wings are still part of the atomic pulse if you look at the trailer.
Yeah, so
Even if it's blue.
Is maybe King Kong hits Godzilla so hard that maybe he like phases out. Maybe he sees an image of Mothra coming to him or something and calms him down, something like that. I don't know.
It wouldn't be
I
the
feel
first
I
time.
think you'll see Mothra.
It wouldn't be the first time that Mothra was the voice of reason in a moment like this.
Mothra's a
It's happened
parasite.
before.
Mothra's a
He has
parasite
been
and starts to
immediate.
grow out of Godzilla.
Stop
Listen,
that.
we're getting into Godzilla in the Hell.
Yeah, no, not even that. I've been watching a lot of Ultraman, and like an episode I watched this morning had that very thing, a parasite in a monster that died. I don't want to even think about that shit. My God.
Have you ever seen Aliens?
But no, you know what? That's actually a very good point, especially nowadays with the way they cut trailers together. I mean, I go back a couple years and you look at that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and you see
Yeah, they edited out Andrew Garfield
and Tobey Maguire completely, and it's just Spidey going at the Sinister Six, right? It is just Tom Holland Spidey. And
everybody gave it away with the lizard looking back behind him in the trailer, and you're like, wait, what is he looking at?
exactly. So like you see that now, I could totally buy Mothra. The shot of Gia's eyes, that was quick. Hell, there's even a part where Kong looks up and that shadow goes over, which I was like, Rodan confirmed. Because if anybody's gonna do justice to Rodan in the Monsterverse, it's Adam fucking Wingard.
Because you know we're seeing the future, right? Am I getting that part correct?
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, Gia has visions. of
She's the
seeing,
new
like,
Mickey
what's
Segusa.
happening.
No, she's a high
So
priestess.
If she saw Mothra coming forth, then Mothra has to appear.
And I
would
agree.
assume those visions are gonna happen. You know,
So is it gonna be like? Is it gonna be like that Nicolas Cage movie where he knows like when the world's gonna end, or
Knowing?
the nuke's gonna go off?
Nope.
Not the knowing. It's the movie where he like can see in time,
Next.
15 seconds forward. Is it next?
Next. No. Nicolas Cage
I
ain't
like
in the
Con Air
Monsterverse.
better.
Leave him alone. But Gerald, let me get your opinion on these speculations, which obviously is going to happen. But what do you think about the Mothra situation? We haven't seen this since your favorite Monsterverse movie.
Yeah, I like Mothra in it. If you know what was happening with the test screenings, it originally wasn't Mothra. It was an original creation, and test audiences were like, that's stupid. Why not just have Mothra? And then they're like, yeah, why didn't we just put Mothra in? It's like, no shit. That's what I mean. It's stupid shit like that that makes me lose faith in this movie. Just a little bit. Because
Well,
they have
my
to...
problem is why would that make you lose faith when a company's
yeah.
listening to the people?
Yeah.
Because why didn't you think of just putting fucking Mothra in to begin with when that's Mothra's whole
Because they're
character?
businessmen.
Hang on.
There it
Chase,
is.
hang on a sec. Let me take this one. Brother JR, we just watched the Royal Rumble a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, after the Royal Rumble and Cody Rhodes won and pointed to Roman Reigns and then the WrestleMania sign, and it was like, yeah, finally, we're going to finish that story. That following Friday, the motherfucking Rock, Dwayne The Rock fucking Johnson, pops up on SmackDown, okay? Cody Rhodes did a promo and told Roman Reigns, yeah, I want to take everything from you and that belt, and just not at WrestleMania, this guy is. And The Rock comes out. Bro, people went fucking ballistic, okay? They went ballistic. They hated it. The Rock was posting shit on all the social media platforms, and every fucking comment was, hashtag, we want Cody. Then they had to pivot. And it makes the product better. So how would test screenings of a fucking another monster for people who might actually know Godzilla and is seeing this and saying, yo, but that doesn't make sense. If anything makes sense, Mothra makes sense. And then they pivot to Mothra. How does that not make you feel good?
It makes me feel good, but at the same time, with the WWE thing, which coincides with this, why didn't you just do that in the beginning? That's what everyone would have wanted. Mothra, Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Why even try to change it at any point?
So The Rock came in with his super ego, right? And he's got the pull, and he is a part of the board now.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, I want a main event WrestleMania. And the
It's
people was like, yo, you've been building this story for 2 fucking years. You can't do that. And it's kind of the same thing. If Mothra was in King of the Monsters, Godzilla's, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort.
yeah.
Then it makes sense that if people saw some weird-ass other creature comforting these 2 giants, because Kong is going to be mesmerized regardless.
Yeah.
Kong
The
likes
Rock-
anything with a pussy. Okay?
Yeah, the Rock is the weird monster. Nobody wants that shit.
So we got what we want, and I get that, but what I'm trying to say is the Monsterverse wants to grow. And granted, you got Godzilla, you got Kong, but think about this. They want to sell toys, too. You got Mothra in 5 different variants.
More Mothra.
You know what I'm saying? You got Mothra in 5 different variants. You want to sell toys. This goes back to the 80s and cartoons. You want to sell toys. That's the fucking thing. That's why this trailer looks like fucking Transformers. And I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm siding with JR here. In trailer 1, I really did like the running. Then that stupid ass poster came out that y'all was posting up today where they're running, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. It looks terrible. It looks fucking stupid. It looks fucking stupid. It really, I was like, I don't want to see them running no more. I don't care if Kong runs, but I don't want to see Godzilla running no more. Even though they showed it in the trailer again, and I was like, yeah. But the poster looks stupid. Give the people what they want. They're doing it. We've got, again, they want to sell toys. You get the variant. It didn't work. They pull the variant, and it makes sense. This is what test screenings are for. Now we add Mothra. 1, 2, 3, easy done. Woo!
Facts. That's all I
You
gotta
also
say.
gotta remember, Toho has done the same thing too many a times with their other Godzilla movies, that they will change monsters or plot points the last second.
GMK.
You know? See,
Back
look
in
at
says
that. Look at
hello,
Godzilla.
too.
Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. That was supposed to be a King Kong film.
Yes,
And then
it
they
was.
shoehorn Mothra in the end. You know, it's things like this, especially during the Heisei era, when they changed a lot of scripts and a lot of things.
Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah was supposed to be Godzilla vs. King Kong.
But
Godzilla vs. Destroyer was supposed to be Godzilla vs. Ghost Godzilla.
we're not
Yeah.
we're not
And
talking
back in at
about
one
the
point.
we're not talking about the 60s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s though. We
But
are in
movie making is
2024.
movie making.
What I'm saying
Movie
is,
making is movie
I'm-
making, but we can't keep using that as a crutch anymore. We really can't.
I
It's
gotta
not
agree.
Toho in charge. It's Monster. It's legendary.
I gotta
You gotta
agree.
stop using it.
I gotta agree.
You gotta realize, though, this is Legendary's own thing. I understand why they went with an original monster at this point. Because they want an identity opposite that of what Toho has done. I understand that completely. It's just with a franchise such as this, with Godzilla, that's kind of a hard thing to do when you have so many iconic monsters behind you. So I understand the plight in that route. I understand why they went with a different monster this time. And then it just got reviewed poorly. It's just like, just put Mothra in there. It makes more sense. I understand where they're coming from. They don't want to have that identity that's relying on a crutch.
Right.
And I respect that. I really do. Because, you know, we got the Mutos, we got all the fucking Titans that we saw on KOTM. You know, there's
The
a
TV
lot
show.
to be explored. Huh?
The TV show.
Yeah, the TV show especially. And it's like, I get where they're coming from, absolutely, but, excuse me. In this sense, I understand why they didn't go out with Mothra, like, flat out, right from the very beginning. they don't want to rely on that. They don't want to keep doing that because it's already enough that it's Godzilla and Kong together. Apparently in a trilogy, as KDM apparently said. But, you know, I understand it. And I'm glad that they went with Mothra because it just makes more sense. And yes, apparently Adam Wingard is returning for another movie after this.
Score.
You also got to remember, too, and a lot of people are forgetting, that we had all those, like, hyena things from the first trailer that was chasing Kong. That's also brand new Titans or whatever.
Yeah, we got original Titans out the wazoo with this.
Yeah, so I'm saying that to have Mothra, I think it's totally fine. And, you know, this kind of reminds me of, if any of you guys read the IDW Godzilla comics, Godzilla versus all these new monsters. There was never Mothra, Ghidorah, any of those kind of monsters from Toho in those comics. But the problem with those comics were, even though they try to have their own identity and original characters, it did not feel the same.
Which ones? Wait. Which one?
I think you're talking
Dark
about
Horse.
the Dark Horse
Yeah,
comics
those are
because
Dark-
the IDW
Dark
comics
Horse.
has all the
Dark
Toho
Horse,
monsters.
that's right, Dark Horse. But if you guys
IDW
read
did-
those,
they did the
those are great, but it did not have that specialty to it. When you see a Ghidorah, you know, Mechagodzilla or whatever, you know.
Except for that Godzilla Color special where he clearly fought Daimajin, but they wouldn't call him Daimajin.
That was great.
It wasn't
That was
Daimajin.
Daimajin.
No, it
I don't
wasn't.
care what anybody
No, it
says.
wasn't. That was not Daimajin.
Yeah, absolutely
No.
was.
He had more of a slightly doggish face. Okay, he had canines. He had canines.
It was dollar store legally distinct Daimajin, all right?
If that's the case, then Cybersaur was Mechagodzilla. I mean, come on.
I think yes, he was. Come on.
And and don't forget the Bat Monster was totally Batra, right? Come on.
No,
That was
Gauss.
That was totally Gauss.
That
Gauss.
was Gauss 10-1.
By the way, real quick, I gotta be honest. I read the Godzilla Valentine Day special, and I'm not mad at it. I really dug it, and I was like, you know what? I would totally watch that movie. Totally watch that movie. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where there's going to be some backlash to it because you can't determine the makeup of one particular character's sex, and they call them a they. There's going to be backlash from that. If that was nothing, the story was great. I didn't think the art would work. The art worked wonderful. Highly recommend Godzilla Valentine's Day Special IDW. That was a good one.
Oh, what I was going to ask is, and it's a serious question. I wrote it down because it's been stewing. Does anyone think that the monsters in this movie, the new enemies and everything, just come out feeling a little uninspired? You get Big Red Ape. Shimu is just on all four Ice Godzilla. Granted, not the trailer, but dude, the figures have been out forever. The War Dogs are just hyenas. Like, just comes off a little uninspired for me.
I agree with that. But at the same time, dude.
I'm not asking for just Toho, but I'm like, another monkey? Oh, that's a lot of monkeys. Okay, but
what do you want? A
That's
planet
been a
of the
story-
Mutos?
That's been a story point that's been cooking for a while of Kong being last of his kind, and if he is. So that doesn't strike me bad at all. That
Okay.
just seems like it's a continuation of that type of, that mystery.
From
but
2017.
the Shimu.
The Shimu thing is
You mean albino Anguirus?
No, it's actually albino Godzilla.
It is albino Godzilla.
It's
that
albino.
just comes off. It's Godzilla but ice.
What's wrong with that?
What is it? Is it like a Godzilla creature? What is Shimu?
Shimu is supposed to be the creator of the Ice Age.
I like that.
Yeah.
it.
Is Rob still here? Or did he lose connection?
No, I think he might be. Yeah, he's
Probably
still here.
did,
I think he just
okay.
stepped out. But yeah, no. Shimu is definitely Ice Godzilla. I loved that one shot in the trailer where he's not on all fours. He's standing straight up and he's shooting into the atmosphere, the ice, which I was like, what the fuck is that about? I can't wait to see that.
It's Shimo, not Shimu.
I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm gonna call it?
It's Shamu.
It's Shamu.
SeaWorld, bro.
They finally brought the gorilla whale, Shamu.
Do we have any figurines of Shimu or no?
Yeah.
We do, yes.
Hold
Yeah.
on, time out, real quick. Y'all really got to give it up for Brother Chase right there. That was perfect. They finally put the gorilla away. Sorry, that is
Drinks
great.
to that.
I got
But
yeah.
no,
6
seriously,
hours of sleep does.
it's
My
like
brain.
the big, besides Scar King being the big bad, the other big bad is another type of Godzilla, and I'm like, hey, something else.
JR, let me ask you a question,
bit.
JR. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
You watch Star Trek, correct?
Yes, I watch Next Gen.
Oh, slick move. See what you did there. Listen, it's a mirrorverse, bro. It's the mirrorverse. It's the mirror fight at the end of Mortal Kombat. Which, oh my God, I said Mortal Kombat early on. Think about this. The mirror match at the end of Mortal Kombat 1, right? You fight yourself before you fight Goro and then Shang Tsung. This is it. This is the mirror match. The only difference is they're a little distorted, right? You got Scar King looking like an orangutan. He doesn't look as big as I thought he did in the first trailer, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He looks just a little bit taller. But and then Ice Goji, right? What the fuck are they setting up for the next movie? Baggin?
Aliens.
I'm with it. We'll get to that
Alien
in a minute.
invasion.
That's
Alien
definitely
invasion.
that's
Alien.
the speculation point of this thing. We haven't even broke down this
Listen.
trailer yet. Let's talk
Listen,
about.
listen.
Okay, go ahead.
We-
What?
We were fine with Crystal Godzilla fighting Godzilla. What's wrong with Ice Godzilla fighting Godzilla? All right.
First off, his name was
that was
Space
the
Godzilla.
90s.
You get it right, and it was the 90s. Okay, so that's. I got nothing wrong with a nice Godzilla fighting a Godzilla. I loved the one shot of Shimu where Kong was like, because this is the way I took it. Oh shit, we got Godzilla? When the eyes lit up in the dark. Outside of the lava flowing on top of it. That was a spicy meatball. I like that. I did. But let's talk about the human stuff. Because there seems to be a lot more going on here than there was in the previous movie. And especially King of the Monsters, where there was no human element. I don't care what nobody says. Okay, he lost his son, so now he's filming wolves. Shut up.
Don't talk about Coach, bro.
You're right, I'm sorry, but fuck that movie.
Dude, and he's
Fuck that
already been on
movie.
Skull Island. Cut him some slack. He's got some demons.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? His
He
great...
caught a giant cricket.
That's right, his great-great-great-great-grandpappy was on Skull Island. If there was a way to tie that shit up...
Image.
Bro, are you kidding me? That's long-term storytelling.
Do you think
I
we're
like
see
it.
Skull Island in this movie?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no. Skull Island's gone.
Yeah, Skull
Unless they do
Island's
a
turned to
flashback.
mud. It's a swamp.
Yeah, unless they do a flashback. Skull Island's gone. But what I do like and what I really like to know is Kong, why is he up top? Because at the end of GVK, he's chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's done. He's chilling. He found his new home.
Desperation.
For what?
The situation has gotten that bad.
Oh, he's looking for Godzilla.
Like, I'm thinking, homie got fucking schmacked. Like, dude's got a silver tooth now. He's got the infinity fapper on his fucking hand and everything. Bro, it's that bad. He's up top because he's like, yo, Godzilla. There's a whole fucking thing going on down in the Hollow Earth where these apes are enslaved by this Scar King dude. And they've got some dude, some chick, something with glowing blue eyes just like you. It's like, I can't do this all by myself.
And there's a midget version of this eviler thing.
Yeah, my adopted son, Suko over here, bro, he's been telling me there's some Deminky shit going on down there.
That's
that
Scar
I ain't
King's
even
son.
fucking known about.
That's Scar King's
I really
son.
do think that it's a desperation call for Kong because he
I agree.
knows that he can't do it. Like, he gets beat, bro.
And I think he got
see
chased too. I think he got chased by those hyenas after the fight happens. He just runs up.
It could be an emotional point where he's desperate to get his family.
Exactly.
But yet it did seem all of those apes were listening to Scar King.
Well,
to
they all
fucking
they all
kill
have the
after.
bloody handprint on their chest. If you peep it, they all have the bloody handprint.
They do.
And that was a great point in the trailer when she said or whoever said that's a sign of war. Oh, I love that.
And
But
we've
it
been
pissed-
seeing that since GVK. We've been seeing bloody handprints since GVK. There was a bloody handprint.
Since Skull Island.
Since Skull Island.
Yeah, even then. And it's
So apparently they're building up that Scar King's been like plotting in the background since the beginning.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because we did see Kong put his hand on the mountain and then the blood was there. I think they're just running with it because they don't think anybody would notice that now they're using that as Scar King. Honestly, I think that's what they're doing because we did see Kong put that handprint there.
That's a very 90s Toho thing to do.
Can you imagine if they say like Scar King was the one that controlled the what was it the
Skull crawlers
or whatever?
The skull crawlers?
The skull crawlers, and
The
they killed
skinwalkers.
Kong's parents. And they killed Kong's parents. Maybe they were controlled by Scar King to kill Kong's parents on Skull Island.
No, because in the comic books they show that there was a plethora of apes on Skull Island. And then,
Maybe it would make sense why
And
they're
maybe they were dissenters to Scar King's rule, and in revenge for them fleeing from him, sent the skull crawlers.
sentient apes.
It would make sense for the reason maybe why they surfaced.
Okay,
Maybe-
real quick.
Maybe they were being chased out.
Keeping on the
They were
human
rebel-
element,
they were
let's
rebel
get
Kongs.
Let's get back to the human element. Something that's said in the trailer. Gams brought this up in the messenger chat. I want him to elaborate more. I thought this was genius myself. The Titans were there to protect the Earth. The apes were there.
The Titans are protectors. They're gods of nature.
Gods of nature, and the
Kongs,
apes
the
were
great apes.
guardians of humanity.
Yeah, dude. And
I love
I
it.
had a whole spiel. You remember we talked about this in a podcast. Like I had a whole spiel with one of my friends who, shout out to you, Jared. I fucking love you. We had this insane conversation over GVK about how we were speculating that fucking Godzilla represents nature, and he's the god of nature, and Kong is the god of humanity, and that's why they're fighting and all that. And this trailer literally just spelled it out for us. I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck?
They gave the plot away. They gave the
You know
plot.
what? It's fucking awesome.
It is.
It makes sense.
It's fucking awesome, and it makes sense. That's the two variables right there, dude.
So when I hear that, and when we think about that, when we say, yo, you know what? That does make sense. I go to you, JR, and I ask you, and in all honesty, what do you want to see? Because they're really laying this shit out. Granted, it ain't what we got 10 years ago come May. It's not born from that genesis. But at the same time, it kind of is. It just went in a different way. It really took the Showa motto, and ran with it.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, like, I got what I wanted to see with King of the Monsters. Because that's essentially what I wanted. So, Godzilla vs. Kong, I expected it to continue with the same kind of feel into this movie, the more grounded. I know everyone argues about the Argo and Ghidorah and Alien, but there's a lot of shit in this movie, and I'm like, okay, we can't complain anymore. Like, this movie's going batshit. But I already got it. The problem is I don't know. From 2014, and I wrote this down. From 2014 to it was leading up to this. It just is like, this isn't necessarily where I thought it would go. It's not where I wanted it to go. But that's me. I'm sure there's other people like that. And, I know people are all about this. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are all about this. But there's also quite a few of us that are just like, man, this series did take a turn. it took a hard right turn. I mean, we can be honest about it.
I did.
We're doing Journey to the Center of the Earth, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and Ice Age. You know, with the sloth all in one movie.
Come on, get Ice Age out of there. I agree with the
That's
first
a good
one.
movie.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3,
I
bro.
mean, but granted, the franchise would also be a lot different if Gareth Edwards was going to be back and staying on like he was supposed to. But
Absolutely.
then he ditched it for Star Wars.
No.
So,
He didn't ditch it for Star Wars. Lucasfilm threw a fucking ass ton of money at him, and he said, yeah, you know what? They made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
so he ditched it for money. He ditched it for Star Wars.
Sometimes you gotta sell out to have a nice house.
Now,
That was his passion project, bro.
And now he says he's just way too burnt out to make movies, and that's.
What
I
do you
mean, he
mean?
made the
He just-
creator,
he
but
made
he
the
says he
creator.
does not like making movies now.
Well, maybe they're gonna do this. Maybe they're gonna pull a Star Wars, and maybe, just maybe, the movie hasn't come out yet, but maybe they see this and it's not the fanfare they think that it is. The trailer's getting the views and we're hyping it up, but maybe when the final movie comes out and it's kind of getting panned more than GVK, and they're like, we might need to pivot. Well, what are we gonna do? Let's bring back Gareth. And
Listen.
there, you get to make his Destroy All Monsters.
I'd be
Listen.
so okay with that.
Same.
As much as
So-
okay as I would be with that, I'm going to make a prediction right now. And me and Rob made the same prediction over Twitter Messenger.
Yes.
This is probably going to be the highest rated MonsterVerse movie, critic-wise. This is
I
probably
believe
going to
so.
get like an 80-something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't say that out in the open because now it's not going to happen.
No,
Don't say
it's
stuff
just
like
that you need to look at what people have been saying from the very beginning. They just want more monsters. And that's all this movie is giving us.
That's true.
It's just more monsters. It's more monsters as characters. It's more monsters fighting. If this is what critics have been waiting for, this will be the highest rated MonsterVerse movie of the
And
of the
in
whole
that theory,
series.
that makes sense. I just hope that even though I feel like it won't, I just hope that it doesn't reflect on how the political aspect has happened with this movie, with Godzilla being pink. I'm still getting bad stuff about that, you know, and I firmly believe that is how our society, when it comes to movies, has taken a turn.
That's probably
where
going to be
people
the
actually
only
will follow
thing.
through with that and not see the movie because they're so ignorant like that.
Yes,
Well-
that's probably going to be the only thing that I can see holding this movie back is both conservative chuds who think the movie is woke, bombing it, and another thing is
Which is
-1
stupid.
is still too fresh in people's minds, so people are going to compare it to -1.
Let me just say, though, you have a monster in this movie that encapsulates all that is cold and ice, and it glows blue. Why in the goddamn fuck would you have Godzilla glowing blue at the same time? It's just a
Right.
differentiation.
But
That's all that
but
it is.
people, it seems that a lot of people have forgotten that. Like Godzilla has
Well,
been.
that's a
pink
them
before.
problem, because if you forgot that Godzilla glowed blue and Shimo is glowing blue, and they want an obvious discernation, that's not a real word, I
And
don't care.
and I
That's
agree with you.
entirely on the stylistic choices of the movie. There's
And I
nothing
agree with
wrong
you.
with Godzilla being pink. Godzilla he's
Yeah.
had purple before.
But to
If
be
it's not-
fair,
it was absorbing that energy when he was frozen, whatever those pink crystal is. So it makes sense. That, okay, if it's absorbing for months or weeks or whatever this pink radiation, then he's gonna be pink for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if
For a
we
while.
pause during one part of the trailer, you see Godzilla entirely glowing pink, burning Godzilla style.
You also
Yeah,
see him
he's-
entirely
oh.
glowing blue.
Yeah.
but listen, back to the human story and human element. I think, and I don't want to compare -1 to this movie. I really don't.
You're going to,
You
though.
can.
Well,
You
I'm
can't
gonna
go.
just say
You just said -1, so it's
No.
going to be a comparison.
Let him talk.
the compelling human story of -1 definitely changed the game for Godzilla movies. We could all agree there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is something that will inevitably translate to this movie, where people are going to go in and be like, it's camp, the monsters are great. I have a feeling it's going to be the same as every other MonsterVerse, where it's like, there's no compelling human story, it's just monsters. I'm just saying.
That's what Wingard said it was going to be in this film.
I'm going to disagree with you on that regard because not everybody saw -1. Here's the numbers, okay? -1 made money, yes, but -1 did not come close to what GVK made,
No.
King of the Monsters made, Kong Skull Island made, or 2014 made. There's no way. The Legendary is the commercial, okay? Legendary's commercial. That's that box office. Godzilla -1 was for us. It just so happened that the normies were like, what the fuck is that? That's all that was. It just so happened. So, I mean, I still have at least that much faith in humanity, so where they can distinguish, well, we already seen 2014, 2017, 2019, 2021, a fucking TV show, and bam, this one. And say that's the story they were telling, as opposed to, well, why didn't they just do this? Well,
Oh, no.
one's a period piece. Let's not do that.
I'm not even just saying that. I'm just saying one of the main criticisms throughout the MonsterVerse as well has been
Shitty
the
characterization.
human characters.
Absolutely
And
agree.
That's going to hold this back.
But the
It's
story.
inevitably going to.
No, I don't think. I gotta push back on that because the story has been evolving the way apparently shit-tail Godzilla has evolved. Okay, the story has been evolving. You see these characterizations of the kaiju, but now, and I'm telling you right now, in 2017. The Iwis was a perfect addition to this fucking universe. And the fact that in 2021 with GVK, they latched onto that, and we're continuing that.
Yeah.
The
I mean, I was
Iwi
gonna bring up-
story is fucking fantastic. I cannot wait to... I mean, hell, 2019, they even threw in the Mothra twins without throwing in the Mothra twins. But it was there. It's evident. There's a connection between humanity and kaiju or titans. The way we're going to see Jaya become a high priestess in this movie. And that human story right there, granted, it's going to be undercut by the monster action. Let's just be for real here. But there is a story there regardless. Whether it's not going to come close to -1, but it's there.
But looking at this from a writing perspective, GVK gave us one of the highest praised human characters in the MonsterVerse in Gia.
Absolutely.
And she's coming back. And she's even more important than she was in GVK.
And she's better than Millie Bobby Brown. No offense to Millie Bobby Brown, but let's be for real here. She's more important.
Nah, bro. You skewered that bitch right there. It's true. She is better.
Thank
It's
you.
facts.
But the thing is, too, if you guys are thinking about this too, in almost all the MonsterVerse movies, they usually have two sets of teams in terms of like, here's this group of characters, and then here's this other group of characters, right? In this one, it looks like they're just concentrating on one core group, and that's it. Which
That's a good
maybe
thing.
that's better for the plot, you know? Because I don't
That's
see anyone else
absolutely.
besides 4 people.
That's
And-
absolutely a good thing, because now it's not just a branching off effect. Now it's not like, how can we make this compelling and how can we make this compelling? Now it's just,
Exactly.
here's the main cast that we're going to be following. There is a focus on that. And possibly, that will evolve the weaker points of GVK. Since they are focusing on a singular group, maybe. they
Weaker
will
points.
evolve on
Weaker
that.
points. What you talking about? Millie Bobby Brown?
Bro, I'm
Just
gonna be
saying.
friggin' honest with you. The Millie Bobby Brown side story was probably the worst part about GVK.
It
I
was-
did not give a
No,
fuck.
I agree.
You took out Mecha Godzilla with a little bit of
Listen,
alcohol.
Hey! You wasn't paying attention to the screen. You didn't see the screen blinking the numbers. Those numbers coincided with the greatest Godzilla movies. Like it was King Ghidorah. It had Mecha Godzilla. It was there. It was like I just watch it again.
Bro, where's the door?
Listen.
Where's
That
the door?
whole thing,
1971.
that whole thing was worth it because it gave us Bernie, and now Bernie is part of the main cast. He is a part of Monarch.
That's a good
So
thing,
let's
yes.
fucking go.
I agree. That's a good thing.
And-
All I'm saying is the focus this time. If it's just going to be this singular team of humans against all of this monster stuff going on, and if they're actual characters and not cardboard cutouts going from point A to point B, that's fire. That's good.
There's-
That's growth. That's what we need.
There is a
That's
point.
what we want.
There is a point in that trailer that hit me harder than anything I've seen with the Titans. When Gia signs, "Is there something wrong with me?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop. That right there was it. That right there was it. I was
Yes.
like, oh my god, because she's young, she doesn't understand what's happening. You know what I'm saying? She was a kid when Ghidorah's fucking typhoons swallowed up Skull Island.
Yes.
See, and again, that point where she says the Titans were the balance of nature and the great apes were humanity's saviors, and you see Kong and Gia touching fingers again, and goddamn, Kong is huge. Like, my computer screen at work did no justice when I watched this shit on my TV, and it's an older TV, and I was like, good Lord, have mercy. But it's so fucking beautiful to a point that symbiosis is there, you know what I mean? That's what I love about Kong in this iteration, in the Monsterverse. This Kong, he's crowned king at the end of this movie. No mistake about it, right? He's crowned king.
Facts.
But fuck.
He's tossing down the fucking crosses of what is this false king that is Scar King.
That is Scar
Like,
King.
King
Oh.
is in his name.
He knocks his
He would
damn
be King
crown
Kong.
out. He knocks the crown out of his mouth. That's symbolism.
does.
That's symbolism. You see it. He knocked the
Eye
crown
for
out
an
of
eye, tooth for a tooth.
tooth for a tooth. So, and, oh, that's another thing. Kong's got a
Oh,
fucking
boy.
metal tooth. That.
Also,
Oh shit.
Because we haven't spoken about this, because we're about humans. Has anyone ever spoken, or have we spoken about the tribe that's in the Hollow Earth, those humans?
Those are the
tribal
Iwis.
men?
Those are the Iwis
Yeah, the
that
Iwis.
actually got away from the ending of Skull Island. They survived. Those are the
Makes me
Iwis.
wonder if
Yeah.
they're gonna make it play where she finds family members.
Yeah, like the lore of this is the Iwi originated in the Hollow Earth, and they came to Skull Island with the Kongs. At least some of them. So the rest of the Iwis are still in the Hollow Earth with the rest of Kong's species under Scar King's thumb.
And Gia's gonna fucking
I always
emancipate
thought it
them.
was Gaia, but the other night watching Godzilla vs. Kong, they say Gia.
It's
So
Gia.
Yeah, it's Gia.
I don't know anymore.
It's Gia.
Yeah, no, it's Gia. Yeah, Gia is going to be their savior, just like Kong is going to be his species savior.
I love how we're going about all this, and we're showcasing all the positives of what could be. But JR, like, I love you to death. I know you want something different, and I think I'm on your level. When you said, what if Gareth Edwards would have continued this thing? We would have went down a darker path. It would have been a different situation, but at the same time, as much as I love G14, I do. 2014's, I love that fucking movie, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at G14, right? You look at 2014 and you look at Gareth Edwards' first movie, Monsters. There was
Beautiful
more
movie.
emphasis, and granted, it was a budgetary issue, but there was more emphasis on the human characterizations and the human story. That is what propelled that movie. Now, a lot of kaiju fans don't like that movie because, well, where's the monsters? They show up every now and then, right? But that's where Gareth Edwards excelled at.
Yes.
That wasn't really the case when 2014. We know this. I thoroughly love the characters. I don't give a fuck. I love them. I love Ford Brody. I love everything. But it was, if not the biggest nitpick of that movie, was that if Gareth Edwards was to continue, do you think we get this? Because honestly, this is a more compelling story in terms of humanity than anything that's come before.
So, that being said, I have to ask this. Do you all like the fact that not only that this is a second Godzilla and Kong movie, I talked with my buddy about this quite a bit, and he's not going to see this. Not a huge Godzilla fan. And he's like, Godzilla and Kong again? Like, I don't care. Like, they should do their own things now. Do you at all think that it's kind of just like, to have them both together for a second film? And also, does it take, especially with this movie, knowing the plot points and all the spoilers that I know, do you think just from the trailer that it could be taking the King of the Monsters away from Godzilla?
No.
And downplaying what happened in King of the Monsters? Because
I don't think so.
No.
I think it kind of does.
No.
I feel like
can I-
it's downplaying.
I want to say this.
Listen. If that's the case, then GVK already did that because Kong was technically the one that did the killing blow on Mechagodzilla, who is King Ghidorah.
Yeah, but Godzilla killed Kong, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
And I'll share how I feel about that. Granted, I feel like King Ghidorah should have been the final villain. I feel like King Ghidorah should be the villain in this. I don't think Scar King and Shamu are going to be the end-all be-all villains of this. I don't. I even though they are, I don't feel like that's fair to give that to King Ghidorah. But however, I will say that you're not taking away anything from Godzilla at all from this.
Well,
He's still the
think
king of the
about it.
monsters.
No.
King Ghidorah,
Yes.
three-headed alien dragon, Ice Godzilla, and monkey.
Yes. Now listen.
Ghidorah, Ice Godzilla, and monkey.
No, but here's the deal.
This is just a problem. This is just
Listen,
pointing out the problem with
Liz.
King of the Monsters. They blew their load way too fucking early.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they blew their load because they thought that was going to be their peak. They thought that there was only going to be
Alright.
3 movies.
No.
But here's the-
They knew what they were
Wait.
building to. They didn't think
But
that
wait.
was it.
Wait, hold on a second. King Ghidorah has been Godzilla's arch nemesis for years now. What difference is there in a little change? What's bad in pitting Godzilla against another monkey that has a lot of sadistic power? What is there in basing him against an ice version of himself? There's been
Because-
changes to the fold
For me,
a
it's
million times
believability.
over.
For me, it's believability.
But Ghidorah went down like a bitch in his movie.
Well,
He did.
with
Was
the
that
help of
just going to
Mothra.
happen in a movie later on?
Here's the thing you're missing too. If you want to go by, okay, they threw King Ghidorah early, and Heisei, he was the third movie.
He was the first. Well, yeah, third. You're right.
So, third, whatever, but, like...
Okay, but
in the Showa era, he wasn't.
In Heisei's defense, they followed it up a few movies later with Destroya.
Yeah, but Destroy is all thriller, no filler. The motherfucker didn't do anything in that goddamn movie. He got capped by the military, and people bitch about Godzilla getting capped by the military. What did Destroyer do aside from looking cool and the aquarium scene?
He
What
killed
did Destroyer do?
Junior. He
But
killed
if you're
Junior.
going
He
by
killed
Showa,
Junior. He came back by the end of the movie. It was
It's-
completely done.
Yes.
It's
If you're
almost
no
like they could
stakes in that
correct
movie.
that
Zero.
with this new series. They could correct that.
But why
If
would
you're
they need to
going by
correct
Showa
that?
Standards, though, if you're going by Showa standards, though, King Ghidorah was the main villain for a lot of creatures.
I mean,
for a
destroy all
while.
monsters is the end all be all.
What's wrong with moving on from
And
that?
it's
I
not
agree.
a good point. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that, but other than just because we haven't seen the movie, I'm still not buying the Scar King and Shimo being the ultimate villains to this. That's
They're
just
not.
Nemo.
But it's
No,
like,
no.
as far as we know, Scar King has power over a bunch of apes. There is a whole tribe down there. There are people down there. There is a completely different dichotomy going on there. This monkey, this ape, has power over more than just other apes, but he's got powers over humans too.
And Godzilla's. And Godzilla's, apparently.
And Godzilla's at one point, as far as we can consider into the future. There's nothing wrong with moving away from Ghidorah. There's nothing wrong with moving away and doing soming different.
Moving away from
not-
Toho.
I'm not
Be the case
against
for
that.
Mecha Godzilla too.
I'm not against the idea of moving away from it, but they did in the MonsterVerse canon say Ghidorah was Godzilla's ultimate rival.
And he was. No. Make no mistake about it. He was. But
So this is a new ultimate.
no.
That's the peak point. That's the peak point. It's just like, this is supposed to be an element. This is supposed to be a piece of the story that's
got it.
greater than Ghidorah.
I got it.
We're going over the heads of Ghidorah.
civilizations. Okay? Now, you got the civilizations. We see where that civilization Godzilla went after the Oxygen Destroyer, right? That was a civilization that fell. The Iwis had, apparently, on Skull Island, pictures of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. Because before that point in time, before they were able to see that, the monkeys were already underground. They were already underground. So they didn't know. So that's the peak to them. But the Iwis that remained underground, that are under the thumb of a Scar King and his lineage, that's a different thing. And they're waiting to be saved and freed from the slavery of the Scar King. And that's where King Kong comes in. Now, I don't think it's taking nothing away from Godzilla being king of the monsters, because they distinguished the fact in this trailer that there's Titans and then there's great apes. Two different things.
And let's
And the
just
fact
say,
that Kong's looking for Godzilla to help him.
and let's
Not
just
just
say
that, but not
there,
just that.
King Ghidorah was encased in ice.
Yeah, who put
What
him there?
is Shimo? What is that whole character but ice?
Yeah, but
If
they
there
already
is a
established
monster-
that in the Godzilla art book. They already say that that was caused by Godzilla.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
art
Godzilla
book, that's
defeated
not really
Ghidorah.
canon.
Yeah, no. The art books is loose canon at best.
Yeah, that's not really
That's
canon.
concept art and that's concept stages until it's said in a body of media that's in cinema. That's when I'll
Here's
take
the
it.
thing.
But if there is a monster that's able to encase Ghidorah, the extinction level monster in ice, there's something to behold.
Okay,
there.
that being said, that immediately takes away the original fight Godzilla had with Ghidorah, where Godzilla took him down so far down into the ocean that he froze, where Michael Dougherty said in a statement, that's what happened in ancient times. Godzilla did that. Godzilla froze him by taking Ghidorah under the ice. He
Yeah,
froze.
but what he
But takes
said,
it away.
and what we've seen is two different things.
Yeah.
Again,
Two.
no offense, but King of the Monsters is the lowest rated monster. Like, it did not do what they thought it was going to do. Why do you think Michael Dougherty was like, take 10 of your friends to see this movie?
Okay, but to be fair to that, I'm not talking about the box office stuff. I'm talking about the lore that's been created from these films.
But
that
it's
keeps
not-
getting changed.
But it's not canon. It's what we want to deem canon. What's canon is what we see on a screen.
But Michael
Yeah,
Dougherty
that's true.
wrote King of the Monsters.
But it's not canon if we don't see it. That's my
That's
point.
true.
So if all of a sudden we got this
As
Ice
someone
Godzilla,
said, Godzilla defeated King Ghidorah in the movie.
No, he
No, they
said that
didn't.
their rivalry is ancient and
Oh,
unique. That's it.
that's it.
I'm just saying. it
And
takes
Godzilla is
away-
not, it's a species. You got to, come on, you're throwing away the species part. They're a species.
I thought it was canon in the book that there was only ever one Godzilla.
Then how
No,
the fuck
the
does
Godzilla
Kong
is a
has a
species.
fucking hatchet with Godzilla spikes? Why the fuck is there Godzilla bones in the Hollow Earth if there's only
So
one
what's
Godzilla?
canon, the movies or the novelizations?
The movies, obviously.
The movies.
Stop making the novelizations throwing shit in there.
But you can't do that because there's not one Godzilla, and we knew that from the very first fucking movie, JR. They were in a Godzilla fucking skeleton. The very first movie in the Philippines.
Yeah, the very first.
They're in a
movie, they knew
fucking skeleton of
was a
Godzilla.
species.
Alright, then I'll disregard the novelizations then because it's not in the film, even though it's stated in the novelization.
But the film, the first film that set this whole thing off, showcases Dr. Serizawa walking in a Godzilla carcass.
It was Dagon. Dagon was a type of Godzilla species.
So don't say that Godzilla is the only one.
And in
It's
the
a Godzilla
novelization
thing.
of King of the Monsters, it was one Godzilla.
Well,
That's what the continuity errors.
well, again, Godzilla King of the Monsters is a shit movie, so the novelization is obviously shit.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, listen.
That's
The
a
novelizations,
this
the
shit.
novelizations bring up the comic books. The novelizations bring up Godzilla Awakening, and we all know that shit ain't canon anymore. So
Yeah, because they keep changing shit. That's what I'm saying. They keep
The
changing
supplementary
shit.
material can't really be used for an argumentative point because it just keeps getting retconned with every other movie, with every other project.
That
You know
being
what I
said,
really liked about this trailer as well is when Scar King uses his whip. I like that whole brawl. You know what another thing I like too is when Godzilla's getting shot at by the jets and he uses the atomic pulse.
that was cool as shit.
It's the best part of the trailer.
It's all there, dude.
oh,
It's all fucking there.
And,
I don't know.
it's confirmed that he kept the pulse after he turned burning. That wasn't a one and done thing.
Which is awesome.
Which is
Well, here's
awesome,
the
but
thing,
he should have
too.
used it against Mechagodzilla. I'm just saying.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
like-
I don't know who here said that it was, that it diminishes Godzilla being like a king or whatever. But here's what I think. Shimu's like the strongest Titan of all of whatever's happening in the final battle, right? It probably Godzilla has to be the one to take him down, while King Kong has to take Scar King. So if they have to use Godzilla to fight the strongest Titan, I don't think that diminishes Godzilla at all, in my opinion.
So here's what I
Let's
think.
see.
It's a swerve. Godzilla's fighting Ashimo, whatever the fuck, obviously because they're the same type. And Kong is fighting Scar King, obviously because they're the same type. But that fucking tail is a fucking tail sign. That thing is gonna go through Scar King. That thing is gonna go through the Scar King. Kong is gonna kill the Shimo. Godzilla's gonna kill the Kong. There's your GVK. We're all said and done. Bring on the next thing. Aliens. Gigan. New King Ghidorah! I can't wait
I was
to
gonna
see.
say they do have the skull of Ghidorah. Why was it they do make a King Ghidorah?
It's turned to ash and rubble now.
Yeah, they already blew their load with Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, they sure the fuck
Honestly, bro, I think we've gotten to a point where it's like we can put Ghidorah down and we can leave him. We had his movie with him. It's time to do something else. That's my personal viewpoint. I don't
Space
hate
Godzilla.
King Ghidorah. I think we can do other things
Mecha
here.
Rodan?
did. Stop.
Space
No,
Godzilla?
no.
Space Godzilla.
Mecha Rodan is off the table. My guy is asleep in a volcano. Let the man get his heat bath. He'll be back. He'll be devious as ever. This is what we love about Rodan.
He'll go
His
through
first-
puberty and have the right roar.
Exactly. We need Rodan with a proper fucking roar. None of this fucking bullshit that didn't.
But
stay
that's.
at the end. Ray, I absolutely agree with you. That's some shit.
Thank you.
That is some shit.
No more
Do you think
Crane.
they'll do like Space Godzilla though?
I know it can't be Space Godzilla. Here's my thing: we did the Toho movies in the second Godzilla movie. We did the Toho monsters. We did them. They were there, and they added other kaiju, right? Other titans. Then we did Mechagodzilla. Fine, no problem. Now this movie is not doing any other Toho kaiju. Hell, even Godzilla looks different. We ain't never seen a Godzilla with a stupid ass tail like that shit. I'm lying. Shin Godzilla. I take that back.
Excuse me, sir. Relax yourself.
I'm not gonna go there.
Well,
I'm just
unless
gonna
you
go
wanna
there.
well, not a movie, but if you want to go with the game Super Godzilla, in the final form, Godzilla transforms into that weird-looking.
He turns into Space Godzilla. That's what he
He
turns
turns
into.
into Space Godzilla with a different color palette.
Yeah, that's all he
It's
does.
Super Godzilla, okay?
It's Space Godzilla.
Listen, man. Listen. There ain't nothing super about
Listen.
that form except for the name of the game.
Listen, there is
Real
no
here.
there is no
Real.
language distinction. There is no language distinction between Super Gojira and the Supesu Gojira. It's the same shit.
Were you just speaking Italian?
It sounded that way.
Did you say Spumoni Godzilla?
Hey, yo.
All I'm saying is, there's no indication of a Toho kaiju in this movie, but this movie is not the end. This is a setup. It's an
There's an
absolute
indication of a Toho kaiju. We see it in the eyeball.
setup. All right, Mothra, all right. But that doesn't count. I'm talking about a big bad. We had King Ghidorah and then Mecha Godzilla, which was the same thing. That ain't happening here.
This is the turning point. This is going to be a major turning point in the MonsterVerse series. It's like once Scar King
Your volume is
gone,
very low, buddy.
Is it really? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Once Scar King is gone, once all of this deminkiness that he is pulling in the Hollow Earth is gone, where is there to go but a slight right, not even a slight right turn, a sharp right turn? Where do you go from there? And that's the best question anybody can freaking ask, because where do you go from there?
The
Where do
Bermuda
you go
Triangle.
the Bermuda Triangle, sure.
That's where Godzilla
Aliens,
lives.
Sure.
Oh,
We can
there's
go- we can
there's
go
a
in any
mystery
which
monster
way.
on the moon.
Maybe, but we can really go any which way from there.
Gamera?
There's a sadistic monkey that has rule over a whole bunch of other monkeys. Apes, I know, don't comment about it. But you can go any which way from there. It's a hard right turn. From here, anything is possible. Anything. Willem
Listen.
Dafoe as the controller from the Zillions. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yo.
The controller. That's it. That's fucking it. That's casting 101 right there.
Do you hear this, Adam Wingard?
Adam, hit me up, my guy. Your VHS shit was fire. Hit me
Willem
up.
Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's gonna voice Gigan in the next one.
No, actually,
No, listen.
no.
Listen.
In all honesty, in all honesty, I'd get a Japanese actor to be X.
Listen, as long as we get the alien invasion, because we are silly enough for the alien invasion now. We need it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
After this, alien invasion, where we go, and the final battle is in Tokyo.
Has to be.
We need the final battle in Tokyo.
Weren't you guys just saying you want something new, yet you're sitting here alien invasion?
What's new? But we're getting new in this movie. We're getting new in this. It's never been done
We're
before,
rushing
Jr.
away from the Toho stuff. Alien invasion. Within 10 minutes.
That's for a potential sequel. That's for a potential sequel, not this movie. This movie is fully leaning in.
People from
This movie is
South Park.
clearly all about the new. This movie is clearly all about the
Yeah,
new.
this movie is about the new. This movie is about the Hollow
not
Earth
saying-
and the Kong species.
I'm not saying we need Gigan. I'm not saying we need Orga, although I would love it. I'm not saying that we need Space Godzilla. It's just having aliens touch down on Earth doesn't mean that we're going to get what we got with Toho.
But
That
they
can
need a
literally
monster,
mean
though. You don't
anything.
put aliens with no monster with them.
Well, they're gonna have a monster,
They
but
need
it
a
doesn't mean
monster,
that's
yeah.
what we've seen.
And our aliens are gonna look like the crab people from South Park.
No, they should look like the squid people from Godzilla Rulers of Earth.
No, please don't do that.
I'm just saying, there's
I
a
fucking
very
hated that.
big ground for taking what's happened in the past and doing our own thing. There's a very good big ground to really have
Dude.
fun with all of that.
What if it's Godzilla versus Independence Day?
I'm
Well,
in.
we already got that.
I'm
We
in.
already got that.
What do you mean? Where? No, I'm in.
1998.
Dude, that'd be sick.
No, I'm
Godzilla
in.
fights an alien with a machine gun.
Oh God! Giant alien queen with a machine gun. Yes, Chase. Yes, give me it. I want it now.
Jeff Goldblum's out there yelling at people to run.
And he's
No,
screaming.
Jeff Goldblum's going, aha.
No. He's screaming. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. Yes. Bring it all together. Oh my God.
I'm
I
just
mean, they
saying,
can
the
also do
Monsterverse,
on the surface to do a Monster Island.
They could.
They already set Monster Island up in Monarch. Come
Yeah.
on now.
That's probably
It's,
long gone at this point, though.
So much with
the
Monarch and with KOTM in general. There are so many different ways that they can go, either original or with Toho Kaiju. It's a wild card. It's all just a matter of how much money are they willing to spend on the copyrights.
Well,
for
the money,
monsters' likenesses.
the money depends on what this movie makes.
That's very true.
Yeah, because
This
for
is
all we
very
know,
true.
this movie could tank and we don't get any more Godzilla movies.
I
No,
don't
that's
think-
not true because, unfortunately, King of the Monsters tanked.
Yeah, but
Or
Godzilla,
Godzilla
vs.
versus
Kong was
Kong.
finished at that point, though.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
but
the problem.
Godzilla
They
vs.
said
Kong
then,
was
they
partially
said-
bought by HBO. It was partially bought
Thank
out
you.
by HBO. They gave that budget money back. And if you look at the numbers, GVK only made $100 million in the U.S.
In
All the rest
theaters.
of it was made over the pond, bro.
In China.
Yep.
But
So-
when Godzilla King of the Monsters came out and it bombed, I remember many interviews. They said back then, it's like, listen, it bombed so bad, maybe after Godzilla vs. Kong, that's it, they finished. But then that movie did so well, so they just continued.
But Toho also said that they're just enjoying the fact that their boy is being properly represented in movies.
Not in this
And
movie.
If Toho is saying that it's okay, then it's like, all right, well, is it really all that?
And then
You-
that's true
you
because
are
Toho
literally
did say
mad.
that they're going to be very open to letting Godzilla have more of a Hollywood footprint.
Well, they want that. That's business.
He already has it.
Money on
He
their
already
point.
he's on Hollywood Boulevard with a footprint. Here, his name is
Now-
on the stars. He's there.
Realistically,
They mean by movies,
No,
okay?
no, I don't.
realistically though, do I think that the Godzilla franchise as a whole could survive without the MonsterVerse, especially after -1? Absolutely. But why would Toho can that?
No, it's
Why?
money. It's money.
It's money. It's
It's
free
pure
money on
money,
their
dude.
part. They're not doing anything except saying, "You want this monster? You want that monster? Well, you can have it, but you just gotta pay the fine." It's free money for them.
It's
With
what-
-1 doing what it's doing.
It's what
it's only going to
Sony-
further that apart.
It's what Sony did with Marvel. Oh,
Exactly.
you're selling things off? We'll buy the rights to Spider-Man, no doubt about it. And now, Sony wants to do all this. Matter of fact, as of this recording, Madam
That
Web has
Madam
come
Web
out.
trailer.
Woo!
What Madam Web? They already pulled the movie out of theaters.
Those reviews are bad. And man, let me tell you something. If GXK reviews are this bad, I'm going to go to Idaho and I'm going to let JR put it in me. I'm going to have to.
I'm just saying though, that's probably not going to happen because this movie is playing into general audience perception of the Godzilla IP.
Absolutely.
That is
Marvelized it.
exactly. No, it's not even marvelizing it. It's just I just want Godzilla and monster fights. That's what the general audience has
Okay,
been saying
what
since
aspect-
2014. It's been
What
for the past
aspect
10
screams
years.
Marvel?
A
What
lot.
aspect screams Marvel to you?
The
Yeah,
running.
what are you-
The running is Marvel. It's definitely
They made
Marvel.
these monsters into fucking superheroes.
They did. I agree with this.
What's
This
on
is
the
where I
jokes?
gotta.
A lot
I'm
of
going to
jokes.
back JR here. I 100% agree with him. This is a superhero movie. It is no longer a monster movie.
They're literally giant monsters. They're super just because they're born.
No, because they're doing super shit. Literally.
You have a fucking ape orangutan using a whip to grab a building and throw it at another monster, and it's not a superhero movie.
It's not a superhero
You
movie.
have a Godzilla from space using his brain to shoot fucking crystals at Godzilla.
We're not
in
talking about the
1994.
We're not talking about the
just
90s.
saying,
Still part of the stage series.
No. I gotta disagree with you, Rob. I gotta disagree with you. By the way, Rob, you are mad low on this. I don't know if your mic is there. I don't know. But
Hello?
I do gotta disagree with you there.
Hello?
There you go.
There you go.
I gotta disagree with you there.
I put the volume down, my bad. I love you.
I love you more. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, boo. I love you.
Yeah. I gotta disagree with you. And I agree with JR here.
Okay.
It is a superhero movie now. Back in 1995, 4, these movies weren't out, man. The superhero genre, you had Batman, you had Superman. That was it. That was it. You didn't have had Batman and fucking Robin. Hang on, JR. I mean, Games. Nowadays, we're fucking flooded and inundated with these movies. Hell, the Super Bowl just straight up showed that Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, what I like to call Wolverine in the asshole, because that was great. But you see that,
Absolute hype.
Absolute hype. But you see the way they make fun of this whole idea of the multiverse. It was fucking genius, and that's the point. There wasn't that shit here. There wasn't that shit then. It's here now.
Let me push back on both of y'all.
I didn't even finish my thing, but how could you push back on something I ain't finished?
70s, bitch.
How could the 70s? That's dude. Listen to me. The 70s what? Because Japan had a bunch of superhero things outside of Godzilla and Gamera? That doesn't count here. We're talking about no, it don't. No, it don't. We're talking.
No, it does because take the fucking Marvel out of it. What has Godzilla been throughout the years? He's been a destroyer, he's been a force of nature, and he's been a fucking superhero.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the archetype.
Obviously, did you read the comics?
Listen,
Gosh.
Hold up.
We're talking about the archetype of the type of movies that are being made today. That's where I get JR. That's where I agree with him. This is a fucking Marvel movie. I'm not talking comics. It ain't a Marvel comic. If it was a Marvel comic, shit, Godzilla would be shrunk down to rat size and fight rats in a New York City sewer.
I disagree with that full-heartedly because the thing is Godzilla and Kong, all those characters, even in their movies, it's always been about fighting and destruction.
It's not that, Chase. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that.
How is this movie a superhero movie, but GVK wasn't?
No.
Hold on. And here's my point.
Okay.
Listen.
Right, speak.
So, Hollow Earth shit was established in 2017 and 2019. Okay.
You're sexy. I love you.
I know. What happens after that? The popularization of a multiverse. Shit. What can we do with Godzilla multiverse? Let's make the inside of the Earth, hear me out, a whole other world multiverse. Plot points.
No.
I disagree with that.
Reach.
That I disagree with. They established it.
That's a
They
reach.
established that.
They established it, but they didn't say the entire Earth was hollow until GVK.
No, they didn't. The idea of the Hollow Earth was in the second Monsterverse movie, bro. Come on, it was in 2017.
They said tunnels, vortexes.
No, Hollow Earth is in the fucking movie, bro. They say it. They say it. It's in the movie. Just watch the movie
you guys
again.
gotta rewatch these movies, man.
No, I think
you
need.
gotta rewatch these movies, man.
I'm agreeing with you, but this point, dude, Hollow Earth is mentioned in in Kong Skull Island. Randy's whole idea is there's a Hollow Earth. That's his whole fucking
That's what
speak.
the Monarch show was about.
No, not even a Monarch show.
That was after.
No, but it's set up in.
Vision.
Dude, it was set up in 2017. It's there. You just choose not to watch it because your favorite movie is 2019.
In Kong Skull Island, under Skull Island, hollow. There could be pockets. It never said an entire world.
Hollow Earth is mentioned in Kong Skull Island.
That's what I'm saying. When they blow it up, the subsurface rock, it's practically hollow. Never said the whole world. It said under Skull Island.
Dude,
And then you go into
that at the very beginning of the
2019.
movie in Washington, though.
That was a theory. They even said it was a crackpot theory.
They were
needed
still
to test it.
setting it up.
but the
They're
fact
setting it
that
up, and we can't
They also
bring
said
up the
the
Monarch show.
skull crawlers live beneath us.
That could be many things, tunnels or a whole entire Hollow Earth. But it was never fully elaborated until GVK. The Hollow Earth
Actually,
acts as a
not
pseudo
until King of the Monsters,
multiverse,
actually.
or
It was
an
established.
Earth B.
It was
Yeah.
established in King
Come
of the
on.
Monsters, actually.
You can't see it as not as that. They
Yeah.
have fucking portals that not lead to the Hollow Earth.
JR, sorry.
I'm telling you,
I'm
it's
trying.
there. It
Listen,
follows the
JR,
trends.
I'm telling you, I want to be a shield, but you are breaking me down right now. And not in a good way. Because honest to God, that makes no sense. That makes no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because it is said, and you're saying, well, it was said, but they didn't explore it. They didn't need to explore it.
Did those bombs on Skull Island cover the entire whole ass planet? No.
But
It
Rob
was
just
just
said in the
Skull
beginning, the theory was there was a hollow Earth. The theory.
They never elaborated on
They
what a Hollow
didn't
Earth
need
was
to
until
because they elaborated
TVK.
later on.
Still, the roots were planted there.
They
The roots were
elaborated
planted,
on it.
Yes, but a Hollow Earth could have been, again, full on what we have, or just series of tunnels or pockets. Which, in 2019, Godzilla lived in a pocket. Not in a fucking vortex in the center Earth. And now the show is like there's layers and all this nonsense.
Nah, see, listen, bro. I'm sorry. There's no way they went into those movies and they didn't have that end game in mind. The idea of
No, we got new writers.
no. The idea of having Godzilla and Kong under the same umbrella in terms of studios, they knew where they were going. They knew where they were going. And I'm gonna tell you something. You know why I know they knew where you know why I know they knew where they were going? Because before I met any one of you motherfuckers who I love and adore, okay?
Love you too, Bear.
Before I moved out here, okay? In Brooklyn, when 2014 wasn't even a thing, that shit was still up in the air. There was this idea that there was going to be Godzilla and Kong under the same umbrella, and I laughed at it. I scoffed at it. I said, you're fucking lying.
I did too.
To a dude who knew his shit. And you know what? That dude turned out to be a prophet. This is before I met any one of you. Okay? Before I met any one of you. I didn't know none of y'all. I knew y'all when I moved out here. That's when I got... This was still in Brooklyn. It happened. It happened. But the thing is, and you're trying to say, dude, there's a story. There is a fucking board. It's like us right here. Just when we do speculations and shit. You get a group of people in a fucking room and they start planning this shit out. And they say, if this does well, we can do this. If that does well, we can do this. Thus. And they keep going. And they build this fucking story. The Hollow Earth has been a part of the lore since the second fucking MonsterVerse movie. You can't deny that. You can't. Because it's there. It has been. You can't say, oh, they just thought it was Skull Island. Come on, man.
Is the iteration of the Hollow Earth.
Oh, man, you're reaching more than 9.8
the
right now, bro.
iteration
You're reaching more than
of the Hollow
9.8.
Earth acts like an Earth 2. So you can have your Earth 2 monsters come up to Earth 1.
Now you're reaching
monsters
into
are.
comic books. Now, see, Earth 1, Earth 2. It's one Earth.
Halo
There's the
Reach.
Earth. There's a Hollow Earth.
I'm using
Come
it
on.
as an analogy for, like, the DC different Earths or the multiverse with Marvel.
Kong
That's what
Skull
I'm getting
Island established the idea of a Hollow Earth. They
My
did.
stomach just gurgled and it
There's no
sounded
way
like
around it.
Godzilla's bellow.
There- Godzilla 2014. Godzilla
Bro, you gotta get some
2014
food, bro.
established more than one Godzillas. They just did. And again, I'm trying to back you up in terms of this shit being a superhero thing, but this has been established, and you know why? Because Marvel was already doing it, man. They knew what the fucking connective tissue was making at the time.
Well, that's because they had one guy, was it Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
That was in charge of that.
Kevin
And
Feige.
there's been how many different assholes writing these MonsterVerse movies now?
Doesn't matter. It's still under the same umbrella.
With no one that's taken charge with a singular vision. That's why we've had 100 different writers in 100 different directors.
No, there's a
Bro,
vision.
listen, from the minute that post-credit scene tying Godzilla and Kong together in Skull Island, this has been a point of planning. They have
Yeah.
been planning this since then. From the minute that Kong Skull Island moved from its original studio to the studio that's shared under Legendary, or vice versa, I don't fucking know. This has been a point into which they were discussing. This did not just pop up out of the blue. It didn't. Because they were talking about it all throughout Kong Skull Island.
They were.
They were.
It's there.
There is a superhero aspect. I absolutely will agree with you now.
It is.
Points have been made. But in that sense, no. Skull Island and the Hollow Earth, it's been a thing. It's been a thing.
Yeah,
it's pre-existing, and it's not no multiverse.
Yeah,
shit.
this shit just
one Earth.
This shit didn't just
I
pop
didn't
up
say
in
it
2021.
wasn't just one Earth. Like I was saying, it acts. It's the monster versus multiverse. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not.
But there's no portals of other Godzillas coming through.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
But that's what the multiverse has been, though, in Marvel.
Oh my god. I'm done. I'm off the fucking topic. I'm not gonna fucking explain this again.
Okay?
Jesus.
I'm just saying that this trailer was fucking great, and I don't know. I am very optimistic now. I am with, like, Adam Wingard has been saying, oh, this, that, and fucking injecting all this imagination into the Monsterverse that it was missing and shit. And I would roll my fucking eyes during Adam Wingard's commentary on GBK talking about that shit. But looking at this trailer, I see where he's coming from. I see the vision.
I do too.
And
And I didn't think I ever would, because I thought Adam Wingard was a hack. And not for anything, the man's not exactly had a very good track record. But maybe this is his jump-off point. Maybe this is where he proves the fucking... I don't remember the goddamn phrase of what I'm trying to say here. But maybe this is just where he does it. Maybe this is where he caps
Everybody has
off.
to shine at something eventually.
Exactly. And maybe this is where he's going to excel, and maybe this is where he gets to the point
I
where...
mean,
dude
nothing's
just
going to
makes
beat his
good
Death
movies.
Note movie, though.
Well, listen, I'll give Adam Wingard this. There was 5 directors and a million different scripts going on there with Netflix. We don't know the legalities between all of that. The man could have just gotten the short end of the stick and only had a slight ability to do whatever he wanted to do. There
That's
were
true.
aspects of that Death Note movie that did cool things, i.e. Willem Dafoe as Ryuk, fine
Yeah.
fucking casting.
Yes.
And like it or not, that movie did something grand that this movie is also going to do. It got people into the IP. It got
24
people to watch the anime. It got people to watch the movies. It got people to read the manga.
2014.
Because they wanted to see how much better it was. But I digress in that conversation. If this is a jumping off point, if this is Adam Wingard actually fucking cooking and doing a beautiful balance between humans and monsters and doing their friggin' thing, by all means, get fucking weird with it. I've been
Yeah,
saying
at the end
get
of the
weird with
day,
it since Shin Godzilla.
It's
Get
a
weird with
monster movie. It's a monster movie. There's monsters doing monster shit. Have fun with it.
Just
But do you
don't
think?
take
But do you
from
think
one...
it could be? They can make it too weird where it makes the audience confused.
not
Bro,
not here.
if this movie
No.
gets weirder than Shin Godzilla, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, true. Very
Not-
true.
I
Singular
don't think it's
point.
going to get to
Like-
that point. I
like,
think
at
they're
this
just going
point,
to have fun.
The Monsterverse has been getting more and more fun to the point that people's suspension of disbelief has been stretching more and more. I don't think this is going to be the breaking point for that.
No,
I don't think so.
that's going to be the breaking point, but at the same exact time with all of this, we don't need to sacrifice one point of a movie to make another one better. That was my main issue with GVK. You sacrifice the human element to make the monster points better. It's like, let's get that balance going in. If Adam Wingard can pull that off, by all fucking means, I'll buy the man dinner. I'll cook the dinner myself.
And
That's
that's
the whole point here.
and that's one of the things he said in his IGN article, is that this film is going to have less of a human focus and more of a monster narrative this time around. So that's what I'm interested to see, is how does he pull off telling the story more through the monster's point of view than the normal human driving force.
Listen here. If we're
I think that's
getting
why we're gonna
less
have the people
humans.
from
If we're
Pearl
getting
Island
less
there.
humans and they're good, by all means, cook with that.
But I
But
think
if we're
that's
getting
why they have
worse
Pride.
humans and less of them,
Hold on,
then
Alex.
you're kind of going in the wrong direction. That's the whole thing here. It's like, yes, by all means, I'm repeating myself. I don't give a shit. If you can do more with the humans in less amount of time, hype. If you're going to forego all of that for the sake of monster characters, you're missing the point here. There needs to be a balance. That was my personal issue with GVK. You fucking turned these people into cardboard cutouts. They went from point A to point B, and the only compelling human was the one that never spoke. So it's
Yeah,
like
that and Bernie.
That and Bernie. I love Bernie. But
Yeah.
in this scope, if you're doing less with humans, but you're giving them more, but you're also communicating that through the monsters, I don't mind that. Because then you're paying attention to both sides of a giant monster movie. Then you
Yeah.
are giving both aspects enough time to give them reason to be in the same movie. That was the main issue with GVK. It's like you put these humans into this movie and they were plot devices. And that kind of blew because they kind of took a hit.
No,
Except for Gia.
That is a great point to bring up because GVK did have that very cardboard cutty, washed away characters. And like on one hand, of course, everyone came to see Godzilla and Kong fight.
Absolutely.
But yet, when the human characters were on screen, I mean, you knew who were the entertaining characters and who were not. You know, and so with New Empire, if they can mesh that well enough to where we have less but decent characters, I'm all for that.
The problem, well, not the problem, but the fact of the matter is, this trailer alone showed that New Empire is going to be way better at human characters than
I mean, we got that
GVK
Australian
and King of the
guy.
Monsters.
That Australian guy with just 2 lines of dialogue, far more charming and compelling than anybody in Team Godzilla besides
Isn't
Bernie.
he the guy that played Beast in Beauty and the Beast live action? Dan Stevens?
Yeah,
I think so.
So he's a monster himself.
Really, like that's what
fucking
we're going
ironic
with.
as
That's what
shit.
we're going with. We're trying to get the Taylor Swift fans here. Chase, what the fuck? Like, what the
Get that
fuck?
man a fucking
Does it
rose
matter?
and a goddamn
No.
symphony.
He was Beast. So we got a monster.
That's fucking hilarious. But
No, I just think Dan Stevens is a strange character to come by in this, but yet, I mean, there's nothing really about him I dislike. You know, I mean, he's supposed to be like an animal tracker, poacher type guy. So
He's a friend with Wingard. They go back to his early work.
There you
They've
go.
been friends for years.
It's like James Gunn doing his James Gunn thing with Michael Rourke.
Yeah.
yeah, his brother.
Yeah. No, not his brother, Michael Rooker. But no, I digress.
I will say it's probably going to be this guy is probably going to be an upgrade from Alexander Skarsgård's character, definitely.
who knows? Maybe he'll be an upgrade from the villain in GVK that wasn't Mechagodzilla. I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah,
Because that man was as cardboard as you get.
way to waste the Serizawa.
Yeah, well.
And I love that movie. I do. You ain't you ain't gonna hear me bash mouth GVK.
So where are we now in this trailer analysis?
We are finished. That's where we're at. And on that note, time for final fucking final thoughts. So I'm gonna start with you, Alex, because sorry, we were rambled. But you haven't been here for a long time, so I'll let you go first. Your final thoughts, give it to us.
I'm still as excited. I think our conversation made me more excited because there's so many possibilities on how they could start the movie, but definitely how they end it. Because the way the end is gonna show where we're gonna go with this whole MonsterVerse. Clearly, are we gonna get true King Kong? Are we gonna have him control an army at this point? Is Godzilla gonna be more powerful than ever after this? Are we gonna see an after credits of maybe aliens popping? Who knows? I'm very curious on, is this the final chapter of the Hollow Earth and we're going to move on from it? Are we done with the Hollow Earth and are we finally going to move on to something brand new, as we've been saying, whatever that is? I'm very curious on that, but I was actually going to ask really quickly, does anyone know the runtime on this movie?
It's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, that. So about 2 hours minus credits.
Is that about the same as GVK?
About the same, yeah. A little bit longer.
About 10 minutes longer.
So hopefully they could fit, as we discussed, better human plots and narrative within that time frame, because I know we didn't have much humans.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think any of us are expecting better any plots, because Wingard has said this movie's not going to be about human.
We're going to go right to the monsters, probably. So, I'm so excited. I'm expecting to go into this not thinking it's -1, because that's a totally different film, and that concentrate on the humans, basically.
Different multiverse.
Yeah, different multiverse. I'm just going into this movie as I want fun. I want crazy. I want them to go as ballistic as they can, but not too out there that it just does not feel like Godzilla or King Kong. But I digress on that.
Nice. Jason, your final thoughts?
Oh, Alex said a lot of it too. I just want to go into this movie and have a balls to the wall monster brawl, man. I want to have this monster brownie cooked in the oven and just have a fun time with it. Pot brownie. I have no qualms with this trailer whatsoever. This movie. I'm actually more excited for this movie now than I was. And in the beginning, I had some concerns with what it was, just because I didn't get context. But now that I'm getting context and affirmations of some things, it makes me very happy that I have almost all the Playmates toys now.
Word.
Respect.
Nice.
Respect.
Shinra, final thoughts?
I mean, like I said at the beginning of this episode here, I didn't like the first trailer. I was not sold on this movie with the first trailer. With this here second trailer, I'm out here fucking defending what they're doing. And I think that's a good thing. And I'm excited finally for this movie. I was going to see it regardless, but it's got aspects that I'm interested in. It's got the monsters I want to see, and I'm there for it. That's all that matters. Like, I'm here day one, going to see it, Thursday night, popcorn, large fucking soda, gonna piss like a racehorse by the end of it. But that's besides the point. I'm here for it. I understand it now.
Just get some Depends, man.
Like, bro, I'm gonna be peeing through the straw, bro. I'm gonna be working on my Vitruvian man flexibility with that shit.
9.8. Gam Gams.
Full circle.
Full circle. Gam Gams, your final thoughts on the trailer?
Listen, take this trailer, compress it, shove it up my ass, let me absorb it. I fucking love this. And if the movie is just as good as this, take the movie, compress it, shove it up my ass, and let me absorb it. Come on now.
He turns into Hedorah and gets bigger the more pollution he gets.
Yes.
I'm saying Hedorah Monsterverse.
Yes, that's another thing I want in the MonsterVerse, because Yoshimitsu Banno to this day is an executive producer, even from the grave. Give that man the fucking Hedorah movie he wanted to make before it got turned into 2014.
It's never gonna happen.
About to explode.
It's never gonna happen.
Not.
Be happy with Final
Support
Wars.
it.
Be happy with Final Wars. JR, my brother, final thoughts.
We'll see.
Fucking A right. See that? That was your final thoughts?
We'll see.
That's why I love that man. And I will say, final thoughts on the trailer. If there was one thing in the entire trailer that made me pop, it was the motherfucking pulse. That shit made me pop, because when the Heisei series did the pulse in Godzilla vs. Biollante, I was like, oh, that was dope. But then when I seen the rest of the series and he was pulsing in each and every one of them, I was like, that's the greatest Godzilla movie of all time. So seeing the post 9/20/19, because I didn't like it. I gotta be honest, I didn't like it. But seeing the blue pulse here in this trailer, yeah, I'm all for it. I loved it. And does that make the movie? No. But I enjoyed GVK enough to say I'm gonna pretty much enjoy this movie, and I honestly can't wait. The trailer did what it had to do, and it got me excited, and it got me open, and it got me ready. And March 29th, I mean, yeah, it's right around the corner. So, fuck you, Dune 2. I don't care. I'm all about GXK, the new Empire. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, in G-Show land, try not to fucking fit this in with Godzilla -1 or Godzilla -1 minus color. It ain't happening. It's a different thing. Don't look at it like that. Normies, don't look at it like that. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think the normies will. I think they understand. You got to give people credit. You got to. And if this shit turns out to be a dud, JR is getting $200 from me. That'll do it from this episode of the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1. I want to thank everybody here. And you listening, we are out of here. Adios.